Johnny, and there's Dad, and me as a little, I don't know how old I am, I had braces on. And there's Grandpa, and their old house, and somebody's coming down the stairs. There's little Bethany, me again, and Kimmy and Craig in the back, and little Beth way back in that corner there. Beth Werner, Bethany and little Johnny Werner. That's our cousins, and little Michael Werner. They're grown up now. Ducky and Tommy. That's her little boy. And Grandma's old house out there. We're looking from the middle bedroom out into the kitchen. There's Grandma back in the cupboard. Grandma Thomas and Mom and Grandpa Thomas, Felix Thomas. Ducky again. And Frida Werner. That's Michael and Johnny's mother. And Janice Thomas pouring the tea. I guess we're getting ready to have, that's Aunt Heron. I'm trying to think of her first name. Now, we're at the tobacco market, probably here in Owensboro, and that's a sale. And I think you barely get a glimpse of Dad in here somewhere, and Jean, I think. You barely see it. It's just dark. You can't even see it on the TV hardly. There's Jean. And, you know, this is bad film here. Thank you. That helps.
You can't even see it at all.
There's Jean, the back of Jean's head, and I think that's the back of Dad's head to the right. I believe that's Dad with the hat on. Ticket marker. You just can't see that. That's just bad film there. So there's something I can do about it. It's just bad film, period.
I thought either kids had a ball game or something. Just all the big summer activities looking for. Yeah. Well, now you've got the continent and then a small boat, right? Okay. When I talked with John Marble tonight, and he said he had like at least 3 or 4 life jackets. Okay. You just really need to have them in the boat, right?
There's Bethany and Mom. I can't do any narrating here. We had the Riverview barbecue. We had the Riverview barbecue here, and it was down on Hanning Lane at one time. That's been a long since sold. I guess that's been about 1964. Climb and get crawled. Want the top on. And I guess we took a lot of film of that. There's Bethany. looks like she was about, well, she couldn't have been much more than 4 or 5.
That's all she ever did was dance, wasn't it?
Yeah. There's the river from the river view, of course. Right in the turn of the river, right there's the locks right there, lock 40, what is it, 46 or something like that. Get ready. Won't smack it until after the film is over. And, I don't know, that's Bethany, and I don't know who that little boy is. I'll have to just check and see. That's it, right over Smith's garage. It's out in our backyard, I know that.
Where's the difference in color?
Huh?
Difference in color.
Okay, get ready. And of course that's Granddad, Felix Thomas's dad, or my great-granddad, and that's Bethany and me out there in the field. This is at Pee Wee Valley, of course. A lot of the Civil War dead right there. A lot more vivid color on there. I'll let you touch the white balance up there. Just careful not to push the camera. But just see the white balance button. There's a button. Here, so if you can't find it, I will. I'll push it.
I did. You push it again?
No, just push it one more time. Just make sure you did actually push it in.
I did.
Okay. Now is that white? Look up in the lens there and see if that's showing.
B and L are, L is red, that no.
Oh, okay. Well, the light's just low, that's all. When you get the...
L's gone off now.
And that's something over there.
L's light's gone off.
Well, it's off when you get a nice bright
Oh,
scene, and it
okay.
comes on again when you don't. Pee Wee Valley Cemetery. That's up near Louisville. Now, I guess that's at a Holiday Inn, and I think we were in Louisville with Grandma. This is the same trip that we took up there with them to Pee Wee Valley. We stopped at a Holiday Inn, and that's Mr. John, the dog, and then there was a drunk marriage party, and that's the guys from the party right there that are drunk and they're in the pool. They threw the groom in the pool. Sorry, no harm done. It was a little stoppage. Okay, they're playing a card game, obviously. They're in our back sunroom. And Mom's got an ace up her sleeve. Real good photography there. And that's Anna, our cleaning lady, who holds 4, I can't even read it, but Mom's got 5 aces. drank herself under the table. She was a nice maid, though. She was a good lady. And you can tell that she's about had it. Little Bethany. I guess she's probably 5 or 6, not very much older. Hamming it up for the camera. Hamming it up for the camera. Kyle will like seeing that someday. Aunt Bethany. Got that big smile. Did he or didn't he? That's again poor film photography. I think this was the story or the adventure of the pirate vomit. And obviously he says he didn't. Look at the film on there. Now that nice bright day, that really shows up well. Shows up better on TV than it does on film.
Yeah.
Now Bethany hamming it up with Mr. John, the dog. Kick the dog. Kick the dog.
Terrible.
Yeah, the old stingray. I think that's a purple stingray, if I'm not mistaken. And it must be a little colder, probably in the fall, late fall. It could be maybe 67, maybe 66, back in 1966 or 7. That's from our front, that's our driveway at 3823 East 4th Street. And we're over in Henderson in Geneva, and there's Grandma standing on the side of her porch. Now this is their second home. The home you saw earlier was at their old home, but this is the one we moved them into to get them out of the old country and out of the sticks. That's their second home. A little bit nicer, a little bit closer to Henderson. And that's Geneva, Kentucky. There's some of the houses down the street. Used to shoot my rifle out behind that house. There goes Grandma. That's out in the driveway at 3823 East 4th Street. I don't even know what's on all this film. Now here is someone about to get hit by a car. They don't watch out. That was an old, oh, and see what happens? Now that was David, or what was his name? Wayne Scott's car. Ted Wayne Scott, that was, our Reverend at Third Baptist Church's son, who got killed in that crash on his way back from Western. Of course, he'd been drinking beer or something. And that's what his car looked like over there at Marx's Body Shop, I think. Wasn't much they could do for that car. More than a fender bender. Of course, there's no doubt whoever was in there was killed. And a little bit of cheerleading for Cruiston School here, I guess. I guess this is cheerleading practice. I don't know. Bethany never really did get to be a cheerleader, but she tried. Cruiston Tomcats. She's a dancing person. That's, I don't know, let's see. I believe it goes blank there. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. This is my handle, and this is my spout. Of course, it's Bethany again.
Must be Easter. You think?
I don't know what the occasion is, but I guess they're all dressed up for church Sunday morning, I guess. And Mr. Band, saxophone. And I don't know what the occasion is, but of course Jose Feliciano could have never made it so big if I had really tried harder. And this is, of course, the skip-a-thon for the Heart Fund, where she went 56 hours. Now, that's my half-brother Marson in his newly bought van, and of course, as you can see, it's a wreck. And I'm taking this above the house, because it's really kind of like a spy film is what it's like. Looks like a meteorite hit that thing, doesn't it? Can you imagine your velvet ice cream truck there? It's like a milk truck to me. I never saw that again. Taking out this is, I was a slave around that house. I had to take out the garbage all the time.
Don't you ever believe it.
I tell you, can't instill into Mary Martha just how much I had to go through as a child. Now we're driving along, and I believe we're in Shawneetown, Illinois, crossing the bridge there from Kentucky on into Shawneetown. This is a long time ago. Oh, and there's the bank of Shawneetown. Of course, Shawneetown used to be one of the big towns in Illinois a long time ago, and in fact, guys from Chicago, in order to try to build Chicago, came to Shawneetown to borrow money, and Shawneetown said, "No, you'll never make anything." Of course, now look where they are. There's the river and the bridge again that we just came across. Shawneetown's not much of anything. Old Shawneetown is. We had an El Dorado back then. And that looks like the Munsters' house. I don't know. I think that's the house. Oh, I don't know what house that is. Some church there. The door's open. And Sandy Lively and Bethany, I don't know what they're getting ready to do. Oh, a little go-go, I guess. She's put in her cock. That's wild, isn't it?
Look at Sandy.
Woo! Yeah, yes, and this is Lila Jean, School of the Dance. And get ready to cut here when I tell you.
Right. Okay.
Am I in focus up there? I'm not looking.
Yeah.
Now, they say Frank Lloyd Wright was a remarkable architectural engineer. Of course, nothing he built could rival the things we had when we were growing up. That's Roy Lee Adams, and that's, of course, yours truly, Dr. Dan. Now, snowballs thrown accurately can hit you right in the lens of the camera, as you will see. Well, maybe next time. Man, that's Roy Lee, and there's that old El Dorado. I guess that's about the same year we went to Shawneetown. Oh, a direct hit. No, it hit me in the shoulder. I'm just wounded. Oh, I don't know if I can take another hit, though. Oh, right to the top of the head. Oh. Oh. Now next summer, Carl Sawwester and Roy Adams. Oh, there went the glasses. It's not fair.
Oh.
Well, of course, these fights were all in fun. Choreographed by you-know-who. It's a famous move now used by the wrestlers on TV. Well, looks like the champion Roy Lee Adams. And now, to scale the world's highest heights, to dive into a cup of water. No, I don't think so. That's far enough. Bonk. Okay, now, two friends going out on the highway, but only one returns. He's hit by a car. Oh, what will I do? What will I do? Oh, what to do? help me, I'm lame. Get me off the highway before something else hits us. Of course, man's best friends stand by helplessly. Carl, help! Carl! Get me out of here! Get me off the highway! Please. Oh, nicked by a car. And now, the knife scene, Psycho 2. Ow! Oh no! Man, that fight was over fast. And writhing in pain, Roy Lee finally croaks. And Carl Sylvester proves champion after all. That's the bus stop down there on Riverside Drive. Kids are getting ready to get on the bus. Probably many, many years ago, obviously. I don't know what year it is. I'll have to look at the film to see. Now, they said it couldn't be done to build a better snow house than the one before. The snow fort built in our backyard now was unsurpassed by any snow fort we ever saw. Now, it will have a roof on it. Obviously, the workmanship inside is not complete, but it is solid packed, let me tell you. You cannot put a fist through that. And, of course, engineered by yours truly. That's our backyard. That's our backyard now. Got a top on it and everything. Man, it's a fortress. I don't know what's underneath there. I have absolutely no idea what it is. Blocking that. That must have been my thumb. Now look at that door. And look at the beauty of that thing. And we even had lighting. There's Carl. And Barry Howerton. Candle power. A window portal. How do you like that? There's our trash can. There's Bethany Sue. Again. Skipping rope. What a door. What a door. Dare you to come in. Dare you to come in. Of course, we were doing our spring house cleaning. The screens are getting ready to go in. Uh-oh. Looks like a fight starting here. Obviously, that was a thrown punch. Uh-oh, Abe Howerton coming in there. Pig Ada. And of course, Mr. Cool himself. We need practice, folks. I keep my laborers working hard there. Notice I get the easy jobs. Right on, Carl. Proud of that work there. There's George and Agnes Wolf. Next door. St. Louis, obviously. We're on our way to Glorietta. Kent convinced me to go out there with First Baptist Church. At that time, I was a member of Third, and he was a member of Yellow Creek. We decided to go, and this is about Oklahoma somewhere. One time at a bus stop, there's Charlie Emmerich and Eric Fruget and Kent Fruget. Charlie's whopping it up on Eric right now, and it takes two Frugets to handle Emmerich, and they can't even handle him. He's just been taught karate, and he's just showing everybody what he knows. Yeah, what a kick there. That's our Greyhound bus back there. And Frontier City, that's somewhere out in Oklahoma, I believe, real close to the Cowboy Hall of Fame. I don't know where that is, maybe Tulsa. Been a while. We took this trip about between the 9th grade and the 10th grade. There's a Cowboy Hall of Fame right there. We never did go in it. Now the desert. I always wondered where the desert started. And it kind of just gradually starts. Here we are in Amarillo, Texas, staying at someone's house, and I can't remember his name right now. Maybe Kent knows. There's Kent and Eric. Some lady and her son. They were members of First Baptist Church of Amarillo, Texas. And there we go. We're out in the desert now. Let me tell you. Right out that bus window. There's some mesas. There's a mesa. And the desert plain and the plateau and all that kind of cool stuff. Look at that. What is that? A river. Alright, and we're looking up there at Tucumcari, the mountain Tucumcari. There's some legend that goes along with that. I can't remember it. About some girl chasing a bear or something, and I don't know. Forget it. We thought we saw some buffalo out there somewhere. I don't know. Maybe they'll be coming up soon. We went with Daryl and Carol Rickard, and of course, when I get mad, I get mad. And, you know, nothing stands in my way. Of course, Kent was just finishing off what I started. And of course, we're in New Mexico, and I believe we're in Santa Rosa or something like that. Look how those cops dress. Owensboro police don't look that cool. And onward. We've got to be out there in New Mexico now. We're getting close to Glorieta. But that film is over with. And now we're out at Glorieta. That's our lodge. I think that's called the Texas Lodge or something. And there's Glorieta. It's kind of situated in the hills of New Mexico. Not too much desert around there. And there's the big, I guess you might call it the student center, the administration building and all that. They got classroom building. There's our bus driver. And there's the chapel and the tower. I can't remember what the tower's name was. But anyway, see, it's up there in the mountains, all the clouds and everything up above the hills there. You can see it's a beautiful sight. I was impressed. Must have been kind of a cloudy day. I mean, we're flying there. We're on our way, I think, to Albuquerque. I'm not sure. Albuquerque or Santa Fe. I'll have to see. Oh, we're going out to Taos there. Taos. That's just outside of Santa Fe there. I mean, it's an Indian place. They got a little Baptist mission out there. Now, that little gully out there that you see is kind of continuous with the Grand Canyon. Obviously, that's not the Grand Canyon. But, that is part of it. Now, there's Taos, New Mexico, and there's their Baptist chapel. Look at all those cars. Man, those Indians live it up, I guess. No, I think that's all visitors. Now, there's a great ravine with a trifling waters. We wrote a poem about trifling waters. And there's where we preached the Sermon on the Mount. I don't even know what that place was. But look at the preachers on the top of that hill. They're going to, well, anyway. That's from the top of the mountain. We climbed that mountain. I was out of breath, but we climbed that mountain and looking down on Glorieta. Man, I mean, we were dead tired when we got up there. Me and Daryl Rickard and I don't know who else, Eric. Now we're going our way back home. There's the Texas line. Who?
Martha Waller standing up on top?
Yes, that's Martha Waller up on top there.
Allie Mazzara?
Yeah. Now, here's where, what's David's name? Big David. He fell there at that Ramada Inn swimming pool and knocked himself out.
David
O'Hara. Now, that's Oklahoma City. They must have some architects there. We were commenting on the structures there. They almost rivaled our snow houses. Of course, they cost a lot more money to build than ours. Oil wells, Oklahoma City. Man, an oil well in every lot. Yes, sir. Oil country. there goes that Pioneer Village we came. And we're still on our way back from Glorieta. And I think we're still in Oklahoma City there. I'm not sure. Now we're on the highway, and there's some hotel built right over the highway. They got the restaurant right over the highway. It was kind of neat. I don't know the name of it or anything. Just out there and now, switching gears completely. We got back home from Glorieta. Now we're on the airplane, taking off to Nassau. Hey, what a switch. Flaps down. We're getting ready to land in Nassau. I thought this was a cool place, but really it wasn't much scenery there. Here we are, Nassau, yay! What an airport, big airport there. Eastern, nice weather there, nice sunny day.
Looks like clouds to me.
Oh, a little cloud here and there, never heard a thing. No, I tell you what, that last scene was in Miami, but we are on our way to Nassau. I don't remember, to tell you the truth. I believe we're taking off over yeah, that was a Miami stop. I didn't get to see much terrain, so it was kind of hard to tell, but that was the Miami airport. And we're getting ready, we're taking off from Miami to Nassau, I do believe. This is just all one trip here. Look at the neighborhood, whippy. Ever been up in an airplane? Well, there you are. Now, we're getting ready to fly out over this shore, and this is Miami, and then we're going to go across the causeway, and out there's Miami Beach, sun and fun capital of the world. And I do believe that we are flying over Miami Beach right now, and the Fountain Blue is up there at the top of your film. Actually, it's right in the middle of the film with a little curved building down there. Anyway, we stayed there once. Coming in. Now here is Nassau. Man, I thought we were landing on an uninhabited isle. Now that's Nassau's airport. That's right. Wasn't much there.
A lot smaller.
Flat land. And we're trying to stop the plane. Are we gonna? We're gonna run out the end of that. But no, we are okay. Now. Here's our hotel overlooking, this is the Monteview Hotel, 40-year-old hotel. We get on the wrong side of the beach, and this is our view. It's really good, you know. There's big boats and things out there like barges. Huh? Man. What a view. Anyway, that's Nassau. And Mike, what's his name? Lloyd Bridges. That's who it is. There's the Montague in the background, that pink hotel. We stayed on. And continuing at Nassau, it was some day there. I mean, it was a nice place. I got sunburned and my back about killed me. Man, the sun is a lot more intense down there. That's the street out in front of the Montague, and of course to your right is the beach that we were just on. Did you see it over there on the right? Montague's to your left. I think you drive on the left side here. I'm pretty sure you do. Yes. It's British owned, or was. I'm not sure if it still is or not. Now we're downtown. Look at the market. Nassau. We're downtown. A little drum music. Looking at all the shops and the wares of the people. And they're called Royal Bohemians down there. You don't call them blacks or colors. They're Royal Bohemians. There's the harbors and things, you know, at Nassau. We're just driving around the island. What's that? The Queen Victoria Steps or something like that. Hey, there's the cop. There's the police. Directs traffic. It's a colorful town, and they're out there, it's just some big boat out in the harbor. Now we're back home again. There's Barry Howerton, and he's doing a quadruple O to the jaw. secret agent man here. There's the Avenger right there, but Napoleon Solo steps out with his Luger. But no, it's a battle to the death. It looks like, oh, in the shoulder. And his gun. Find the gun. Get it. Oh, got him. One of the typical battles of the, oh, that's Mary Poppins there. And Bethany on a bike. Going out the front driveway there. Down the street. There's 3823 East 4th Street. Those lights on our front porch burned for I don't know how many years. They never did burn out. And it looks like a little Sandy Lively again. Bethany. And I mean, here we go. Ready? Now, the following summer, after we went to Glorietta, we went to Ridgecrest, and that's where we are, Ridgecrest. We're up on top of the hill in North Carolina, and that's the road leading down the hill. It's a little dark. It's just that way on the film. Now, going down the hill, we're going all the way down the hill there, down at the classrooms there, and that's two girls we met from Virginia, but I can't think of their names now. But that's a typical day at Ridgecrest. Yeah, I just can't think of her name. There's the big hall there where you, that's the auditorium. You might say, what's the word? And the administration building. The dining hall, my favorite place. Man, you could eat there. They'd lay the food on the table, grits, eggs, and every table would get up with their respective states and cheer like Kentucky, you know, Texas. There's what's her name, Armstrong, and Everett Kerr from Nashville. Susan, what was her name? Sue Hazelwood. Not Armstrong, it was Hazelwood. There's one of the cabins there. And I tell you, it's just dark up there. It's just bad photography. Don't worry about it. Now we're on our way back, and I'll tell you where we are. We're on our way back from Ridgecrest, and we've stopped on the Tennessee River. If you can look out there through the trees, that's the Tennessee River. It's called Camp Dogwood. And we spent one peaceful night there on Camp Dogwood, and I skied for the first time right there. There's where they burn their bonfires. I don't know how they get out there. I guess they get out on a boat. It's peaceful. Peaceful. Calm water.
Looks like a lake where Jason would come out of, doesn't it?
Yes. And that's where they docked the boats. And we found a snake out there. I just remembered that. And back up at the cabin, Camp Dogwood again. There's Kent. He's got something in his hand. I don't know what it is. It's a frog. It's a tree frog. That's what it is. Now, watch the strength. Yes. I have absolutely no idea. Ready? No. This is the first trip we ever took after Dad died. I believe it was the summer '66. And we're taking off from Owensboro. We're on our way to Pittsburgh to visit my two aunts and uncles up there, the Werners and the come on now, Brewers, and the Brewers, Bill Brewer and John Werner. That's an aerial view of Owensboro, coming in on Louisville now. Coming in on Louisville, I took films of every plane trip. And I can't tell you exactly where we are every time, but I do believe we're going to land in Louisville here. That may be Churchill Downs, it may not be. Who knows? But that, I'll tell you, you know what that is. That's the stadium there in Louisville. Coming in on the airport at Stanford Field. There we are. Dirty windows, man. Self-services, the pits. Okay, here we are in Pittsburgh, and there's little Johnny Werner, remember him? And little Michael sitting down there, and some friends. And we're in the backyard of Aunt Werner, Frida Werner and John Werner. We're in their backyard, and that's still their backyard. And Bethany is still jumping up and down.
She dances all the
She
time.
was something else. There I am sitting, I think that's me, with Frida. That's where I learned to throw a G.I. Joe way up in the air and let it come down in all contorted fashions. Yes, I was really dressed well there. Backyard of the Werners. I think there's a spruce in that backyard. There it is. Maybe that's it right there. Y'all know more about plants than I do. There's a little drop off back there, and there's a little playground back in the back there where the kids play. Aunt Frida, if I could hold the camera still, Bethany, and Mom on the left. And she's probably, again, about 5 or 6. She's probably about 5. Man, they're way up on the hill. Now we are, I think we're in Idlewild Park in Pittsburgh still. Yeah, going on the train. And, you know, the train's got all these little scenic things on the side, like cement deer and cement animals. Fake. But anyway, it was a nice trip. We're still in Pittsburgh. Idlewild Amusement Park, I suppose you might say. There goes Frida, I do believe, and Johnny, and Michael. Now there's Bill Brewer closest to you, and John Werner farthest away. Both uncles. The back of Bill Brewer's house. Now this is about 2 blocks away from the Werners, who we were just at. Now we're in the back of Bill Brewer's house. We're going to grill some steaks out tonight and eat them, and they're going to be brick hard, let me tell you. They're the hardest steaks I ever ate in my life. And there's a little playground. Now that house right there you see is next door to the Brewers. And that's the man who clipped his grass with his hands. I mean, he didn't have a lawnmower, he clipped it with a set of shears. Unbelievable. Now the Werner's house is back kind of off to the right on that other hill over there. You have to go down that road. Now me and Johnny went down that hill in a red wagon, and we overturned, and I came out of there with a couple of skint knees, let me tell you. We're going about 35 miles an hour. Now, I say Werner's house is kind of back right up in those trees there.
They lived in the same neighborhood, didn't they?
Yeah, they were just a hill away. And that was, I don't know where that was. Now, we have left Pittsburgh and are on our way home, but we stopped off at the Washington Hilton. And that's where we are, right there. So we're in Washington, D.C. And this is the back of the Hilton, where the swimming pool and lounge and all that cool stuff are. I was amazed. There's the bar. There is a pool back there, believe me. I think it's back behind those trees there. But if one were to just look on the horizon, and you will, I hope, panoramic view, huh? You can't say I didn't know camera techniques. I mean, you get the picture now? That's the end of that film, right? Now, we're still in Washington, I do believe. And there's Bethany in the wading pool. Now, see on the horizon, right dead center, that's the Capitol building. I hope you caught that. And I'll tell you, can't see right now. I'm threading the film. I don't know what you look at. You know what that one is. Hey, hey, hey. And there's the White House. You know where we are. I don't know where we are, let me tell you. Let's see. I'm trying to figure it out. I think we're at the Smithsonian. And that is the, for some reason, I want to say the Capitol. Styled after Roman architecture. Now, we are inside. You're not going to be able to see anything. This is in the Smithsonian Museum, and there's a big old elephant right in front of you. You barely can see it. It's so dark in there. I don't expect you to see anything on this.
It's a good day.
Do not adjust your television set. All right. Oh, look, it's the Capitol building from the lawn, and here we are in Arlington Cemetery. And we were late for the bus after we were trying to film this thing, and they came and got us and said, "Hey, lady, we're ready to go." Had everybody on the bus but us. But we thought it was such a moving monument. That's it, folks. That's the real. Oh, look. The tomb of the unknown soldier. You cannot get that guy to laugh. I mean, I did everything in my power. There's the John F. Kennedy's grave. Eternal flame. Now we're back home. And I think we're talking Sandy Lively there. Look, we've changed to a gold Cadillac. And here they go. And around and around and around we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. What activity. What energy. .3823 East 4th Street. Elmer Bennett's house. Ready. Now, this is guess what we're doing? We're flying again. And I guess, I'm trying to think, I guess that's Owensboro, I'm not sure. But we're going to go to Florida, to the Fontainebleau. Have you ever heard of the Fontainebleau? That's where we're going. It's one of the most famous hotels in America. The site of where James Bond was filmed. Goldfinger.
Is that it?
That's it. Now that's the Fontainebleau, Miami Beach, Florida. And there's the canal between Miami Beach and, Miami Beach, I guess. Now that's the gardens out behind the Fontainebleau. Oh, how beautiful. And they played tennis. I didn't play tennis back then. I just played ping pong. How wonderful it was. And here we are on the beach. It was something else, let me tell you. Look at the beach. Had all these piers out between all the places. I guess that's to preserve the sand, people. It wasn't much of a beach, really, but it was Miami Beach. Now, Goldfinger was filmed right here, up in those cabanas back there. That's where the Golden Girl was. And of course, Goldfinger and whatever that fat slob's name was that he fought were playing cards out in that lounge area there. Now the swimming pool. Let me tell you, down at deep into that swimming pool, there's a window, and you can see through that window from the outside. There's kind of a tunnel, and you can see the people swimming on the other end of the pool. Now that, man, look at that high dive there. Look at that guy. I had never dived off a high dive before in my life. Goldfinger. They also filmed Jerry Lewis and the Bellboy there. Let me tell you, this is high class. Really. Look, hey, there's through that window I was telling you about. You can see through the window. Either that or I'm Mike Nelson.
Who's Mike
That's
Nelson?
He's the skin diver on Sea Hunt. Look at that tennis court. My lands, man, I wish I'd have played tennis then. I've been able to barely see over the net. Get ready. Get ready. And the end of that painting. Now, this is a Florida trip. Now, this is when I was a senior in high school. Let me think. No, I was a sophomore in high school. And we went to Florida. There's Mike McKee and John Burns. And we went to Florida. And on our way across Florida, we went over to Nassau Base and Cape Kennedy. He almost wants to mess up on me there. Of course, that's a model of the rocket. I don't know which one. Mike McKee reminded me of Peter Fonda. Now, here we are kind of traveling around now. See that big building way off? That's about 5 miles away. That's the one. No, I don't know which one it is. I tell you, I can't tell a diddly squat. But anyway, we're going to see the biggest building in the world. Now, here's Mission Control Center. And there's, I don't know, it's a bomb shelter, I think. Okay. I think that's where they fired off, that's the gantry for the Redstone rocket, I do believe. Now we're coming up on some of those Gemini gantries there. One of these is where Friendship 7, I think, took off. I can't remember exactly. There you go. Friendship 7. I think that's the one where they burned up Gus Grissom and the other 2 astronauts. Now that big building, you know which one I'm talking about. There it is. Can you imagine? What in the world? That was Mike McKee's foot, you saw. I just regained my senses, I think. Man, there's one of those crawlers that carry the rocket to its destination from and to the launch pad. Now that building is still a pretty good ways off. See what I mean? When you walk up to it, you look like you're standing at the end of the world. And now we're back home again on my GTO. And Jeff Hedges mowing grass next door. He, of course, is the grandson of George and Agnes Wolf, who live next door. One of the 3 grandsons. Cut. Now we're on our way around the world here shortly. This is what this tape is supposed to have on it. But right now, I have absolutely no idea what is on that tape. Okay. Oh, but before we go around the world, we will show you the prom. Well, let's see. This must be my junior year, and somebody cannot hold a camera, and that's Pat Goff, her senior year. Now, I just don't know where we are. Could we be at Indianapolis? We're going to go around the world, folks, but I'm just not sure exactly when. That must be... I'm totally lost. We're going around the world. Here we go. I don't know what that was.
Not in focus, baby.
Well, neither was the camera. It's not... Do not adjust your TV set. The camera was not in focus at this point. Now, I do believe we are in New York, and we are getting ready to go across the Atlantic Ocean. But that's the best it will focus. You can get the general idea. That's better than the way I remember it, let's put it that way. These airports, they're real fascinating. What's that? What's that going across there? Look at that truck. What's that way back there going across? Oh, hey, we got it back in focus. Okay. Of course, we're getting ready to depart. I do hope it's soon. I do believe we sat in this plane for about 30 to 40 minutes waiting to either get out or get off the plane. I think there was some kind of delay. But now we're off. We're in the air. I do believe we probably are getting ready to go over the Atlantic if we're not already over the Atlantic. Looks like somebody sprayed a lot of Gillette foamy out in the ocean. Okay, who put the ivory liquid in the ocean? Alright, let's see here now. What? Where? Well, is that France? Oh, it's France. It's France. I do believe it's France. I do believe. But you can't hardly see it now. Ready, set, cut. Alright. We are in Oberammergau, Germany. Okay. Hey, that's pretty good photography. Now, this room is about the second story window. Golly, come on. Get the picture here? This is a pain in the behind, let me tell you. You just don't have to... Anyway, that was Oberammergau. Can you believe it? Now, that's the Swiss Alps. I'd recognize them anywhere. Look at those things, man. We're about 30,000 feet, people. Oh, and now we have cruised down to Jerusalem. We go, me shine you shoes, $1 American. And you know how much it cost us to take that picture? I think it cost us $1. They wouldn't even look. They'd come up and ask you money if you took a picture of their camel. See that guy that crossed the street there in his ice cream shop? We threw dung on his porch. And I'll tell you why if you ask me later. Alright, now this is Jerusalem, and that's the hill all around the city. Oh yes, it's built on many hills. And mosque, you know, obviously Jerusalem was occupied by the Muslims for a period of time, and there's one of their mosques right there. And you just kind of pan out over the landscape, and you can kind of get an idea. I do believe the Dead Sea is down in that valley way out there. Now, we went out to a place out in the country outside of Jerusalem. There's Doug McSwain and Lawson. No, that's Stevie there walking out of the film. Anyway, it was a place where the shepherds went. Now it might be Golgotha there. You see that skull down there? Now that's up on the hill. There's a cemetery up there now. But they say that perhaps this is one of the probable sites of the crucifixion. And what you just saw there just a minute ago was the tomb of another probable site. And it's just very close to the to Golgotha. That is a tank, and that's debris from the war. I think they had a, I don't know if that was a 6-day war or not, out in the desert. Now, that's our guide. I can't think of his name, but that was the mosque and all that kind of stuff, you know. We're back in Jerusalem, people. Now, I do believe we have gone to Nepal. We are on our way around the world, and we've gone to Nepal, but this is the end of this tape, right? Now I'm trying to see where we are. I think we're in India. We went to Nepal, and I do believe we're now in India. That's a dancing bear. Of course, that sucker will tear you up if you don't watch it. They'll do a dance on your head. And, you know, that's a little Stevie McSwain. He's the middle son of T.L. McSwain, in between Lawson and Doug. And he's sleeping, and obviously it's fun to watch somebody sleep, and they slobber, and their head moves around, and we're on a bumpy old road in India. That's why the head keeps bobbing up and down. I mean, it's a pitiful road. Oops, he just sucked in some slobber.
Staged?
No, he was dead asleep. It was not staged. There wouldn't be any good staged. See that slobber? See it catch it? Oh, he sucked it back in. There's Lawson. And there's Stevie. And the Taj Mahal. That's the Taj Mahal. And you know, I wrote a friend of mine's name on the inside of that pool, down on the lip of that pool. He asked me to do it. Terry Morrison. It may still be there, but he's not.
How did you do it just to mix in?
I just kind of look down there like, yeah, heck, you know, I'm a kid. I can do anything I want. And there's a lot of sheep. People running around with dung on their heads. These are cow chips.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Fertilize. Watch this guy. He's going to die for about $5. Into that. There wasn't any water in there. No, there was. There was water. But it cost us $5 for that dive. We're on some old ancient city, and we're up in a tower right in the middle of the city. It's uninhabited at this time. This is the city where that guy dived off that wall. And I don't know where it was. I've forgotten. Okay, and of course, when you're driving down the road, you've got to contend with this type of stuff. All the sheep in the middle of the road. And the shepherds are, they kind of kick them off the road. And there's the next flock. And here we are in India. And look at, man, the roads are bumpy. Let me tell you, I'm not doing that to that camera on purpose. Ooh, naked people running around. They don't have any clothes over there, so some of them don't. I don't know about this film. I think it's inside the bus, and it's dark as it can. I can't even see anything. Now, I'm not sure where we are. We're obviously in a plane. We'll find out on the next film. That's it. Okay, continuing on with our trip, we're up in the air, obviously. I took a lot of aerial film. I should have been a pilot. It just looks so majestic up there. It's just kind of hard to transfer to film. Now, we're coming in over Bangkok, Thailand. Rice paddies everywhere, and we're landing. Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah. Colorful, kind of poverty-stricken. Chickens hanging out on in their groceries with flies all over them. That type of thing. Open air market. There's a temple back there. I guess you saw it. I don't know. We're on the highway. It seems like we didn't take much film in Thailand. I believe we are leaving, and I'm going to do a little fast. I'm going to do a little zoom here. Watch this trick. How'd you like that? Think that guy sped up? Huh. That is my film trickery. But he did go ahead and pass us, I do believe. Travel service, some travel service. And there are some of, I think America had some jets over there. Some of the United States Air Force planes right there in Thailand. This was kind of nice to see some people from home. Now, we're up in the air again, obviously, looking down on some contoured crops, and I'm trying to think about it, what we've got here. I think our next stop was Singapore, but I'm not striking any chords right now. I don't know what the film is going to say here. It is, I think it's Singapore. Oh, I believe yeah, that's Singapore. And our hotel room overlooking all that scenic view there. We're going to make a trip over to Hong Kong if we haven't already. This does look like Hong Kong. Some of their sampans. Okay. Okay, now. An airplane, and I do believe we are flying to Hong Kong. Now, we took this trip in between my junior and senior years in high school, and that would have to be about 1970, and the Vietnamese War was still going on, you know. And if I'm not, I don't want to comment, but we did fly over just the border or the shoreline of Vietnam.
That's not very good focus.
No, it's not in very good focus, but it's just not in very good anything. It was just a difficult film. Okay. Now, I don't think there's much doubt that this is Hong Kong. And of course, people live on these boats. They live their whole life on there. They fish and whatever they do to make a living, you know, sell things. And And this is the Hong Kong harbor. Lots of people live there. And there goes one of the, looks like one of the ferries across the harbor. And I do believe we're riding up the incline of Mount Victoria, and we are looking down on the harbor of Hong Kong, and of course see Hong Kong. And all those big ships out there are part of the 7th Fleet of the United States. There's one right there in the middle of the film. United States of America. Battleships, flagships. They're harbored in the bay there. Now our hotel is right over there. That big block right there. I do believe this is what we call Repulse Bay. I'm not sure. It was one of the bays along the coastline, down the shoreline from Hong Kong. I believe they are shark-infested waters, if I'm not mistaken. People store their fish down there. Man, how'd you like to live like that? A lot of people live their whole lives in those tenant houses, hang their laundry out the window. That's Red China. We took a visit up to the actual border of Red China. We're not, now that's the entry right there, to Red China. Okay, back in Hong Kong. Still in Hong Kong Bay there. There's one of those big battleships. It's either that or a flagship. United States of America. Bill Rusher and Mrs. McSwain, Betty McSwain, and little, I think that's Lawson, back at his head, sitting down, looking at me. And we're on a ferry, crossing the harbor. A little bit of lobster there. And we are stopped at some restaurant, and they show you your food before you get to eat it, like crab. They have these little baskets that just sit out in the water, and you can just kind of go pick what you want. Now, onward to the World's Fair, Expo 70, Osaka, Japan. We've moved over to Japan now. Here we are at the World's Fair, and all these different exhibits. That's kind of as we first came in. That's the first sight we saw. Different exhibits. I can't remember them. All of them. Well, you know what that is. Goldfish. I'll tell you what I know. Some of the sights. We had a monorail. There's Stevie McSwain. And an overhead lift. And all kinds of different exhibits. I can't tell you. I think that's Sweden. I think that's a Swedish plane. There's the Russian exhibit, obviously. I don't think we got inside there. There was a long line. And the Mexican. Okay. And that was one of the moving exhibits. Some mechanical wonder. And I believe this is the United States exhibit. We're going to go inside, and I do believe it's going to be a little dark on your film here. The United States exhibit was one very flat. You know, it wasn't very high off the ground. You can see that. But inside there is a Mercury capsule with some of the astronauts. Another one. They managed to keep enough foil in there. There's an Apollo craft. I do believe this may have been the one that had gone actually to the moon. A moon rock. That's a moon rock. And as we left the exhibit, we happened to locate Kentucky. This is a little out of focus. We're in Hawaii. Stop with me. Now we're in Hawaii there, and that a pig at a luau, obviously, and it's the best focus I've got right there. They're getting ready to roast a pig in a luau. You know, this is on the way back from around the world. We stopped off in Hawaii for 2 days. And, you know, ceremonial thing. They're going to drop that pig down in the pit of rocks and cover him with some rocks and roast him for a while, or bake him for a while, I guess you might say. Now, this is Waikiki Beach. Very, very populated. I lost a $5 bill out there about 100 feet offshore, and I found it on the shore. I couldn't believe it. It just got knocked out of my hand. Diamond Head. Mom and Bethany at Waikiki Beach. You want to see that in your mind? Oh, you're watching. That's me. Mr. Cool, of course. At all time, maintaining my composure. The waves are unusually calm there. All the lights you're seeing, I do believe we're getting ready to take off from Hawaii and get back to the mainland of the United States. And I was so excited, I just took films at night. I couldn't believe it. We're in an airplane, and we're looking out the window of the airplane, and that's what those lights are. I hope that's not too long. It's totally dark on the TV screen now. I do hope something else shows. We may have to.
You stop it.
No, I don't know what's going on there. Whatever it isn't very good film.
I got it going again.
Okay. I don't know. There must have been somebody playing with the camera one day. Looks like maybe Bethany and I don't know. You can pause. Well, every time you get ready to pause it, something. Now, Mary Martha and I took a trip to Albuquerque. What year was it, Mary Martha?
1976.
76?
Yeah.
Okay, speak up. And there we are out there. This is my, now I told you my aunt, John and Frida Werner lived in Pittsburgh, but since had moved, and they live out in Albuquerque. And this is their home out there, and they don't have grass. Obviously, you see the rocks. And we're looking, Brad, come on. There we go. And that's across the street. This guy does have grass, and incidentally, he must have some money because he has to spend money for the water, which is rather scarce, to irrigate his lawn. And that's the next door neighbors to my uncle. Now, this is, what was that?
Old Albuquerque.
Yeah, it was down in the old town square. Under those arches, people sell turquoise jewelry and different types of things. That's another view of that square. Now we're in the backyard of Uncle John Werner's house. What the dog's name, I don't remember the dog's name, but I was showing my soccer skills as I just kicked that dog, and that's little Susie, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Susie, the Shih Tzu, mom's and mine dog. That's little Michael Werner now. Hadn't he grown up from several years? And that's out on the plateau. Mary Martha playing with Susie. That's her Dorothy Hamill haircut too. There's a lot of ants out there. Got to watch out. Those ants will crawl up your pants. They're out on the mesa. That's what that's called. Now you look up in those mountains, and those are the Sandia Mountains. They look like they're close, but really they're a long way off. They're really tall. Now we're downtown. This is the University of New Mexico. You just saw it. Albuquerque, downtown. Taking pictures of some of their architectural geniuses there. There's the airport at Albuquerque, and I guess maybe being at the airport, I assume we're getting ready to leave. I mean, that's the uncle's neighborhood. That is my uncle's neighborhood that you just saw. And we're taking off, and it's like two plates of land that come together, and that's the Rio Grande River that flows right in the middle of Albuquerque. And there's the highway, and that green you saw down there was a golf course. Well, this is our honeymoon trip. I believe that we're on our way to Hawaii, and we're in Chicago, and of course the green light gives us the go ahead signal. Of course that's Chicago, and just looking out over some of the suburbs, I suppose. Now that's Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan over that little parkway there. Moving a little fast there, but look at the smog over that city, man. There's a lot of smog. Well, there's the Sears Tower. Well, that may be the older version of the Sears Tower, but the real Sears Tower looms right out ahead there, as you can see off in the distance. That's the one you've heard so much about. I think it's the tallest building in the world, or it's very close to it now. I'm not sure what has surpassed it. We're a long way off from it. We're heading north. There's, what's that, Wrigley Field, home of the Chicago White Sox. We're just islands, you know. We're just having fun, taking pictures. I think Mary Martha's steering the thing while I take the pictures. Now we are looking.
At our motel room.
Yeah, that's at our hotel room, right across from the O'Hara. We're staying in the O'Hara Hilton, which is just across the street from O'Hara International Airport. That's the terminal over there, the main terminal. And beyond that are airplanes, as you can see. It's one of the busiest airports in the world. And I just happened to notice that we are going to be heading in that direction, northwest orient. Now, we're over in the airport looking back at our hotel. So it's just basically looking back at what we were just, where we just were, O'Hara Hilton. And that little tower's right in between there. Yes, sir. Now, we're over right there standing in front of the terminal, and looky there, a newlywed. Yes, going on a trip. Feel free to chime in, Mary Martha. Oh, there goes the airplane. Looks about like Owensboro's terminal there.
How often do they say a plane took off? One every 3 minutes?
Oh, fast. I think every 30 seconds. Now there's the O'Hara Hilton, the tower, the terminal, all there in a row as we taxi down the runway. That's up. We're up next. We're getting in line here. And it looks like the takeoff. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. And you can feel it in your stomach. It's getting ready to take off. Oh, yes. Oh, whoa. Look at us climb. It's a feeling that you just never forget. And, of course, up in the air we go. Look down there. See that plane? We must be flying about twice as high as he is. That's our engine. We're going to suck him up. It's like a mosquito. Oh! Got him! Now, we just happen to be flying over somewhere around Iowa. I never really noticed any circular farms. I suppose that's their irrigation method out there. As we go on a little further, I think we get into the gullies and hills of the Badlands. Incidentally, we're flying from Chicago here out to, I think it was Portland, or was it Seattle? Portland on our way out there. That's Pikes Peak, way out there in Colorado, I believe. You can barely see it. I mean, it's probably 100 miles away or more. And we're coming up on some of those volcanoes. I think that's Mount Hood. I'm not sure. And there's 2 or 3. You can just see them one after the other. We're flying right through a volcano chain. And here we are landing in Portland, Oregon. Our final stop in the mainland as we taxi down the runway. We're getting ready, and there's the coast of Portland as we leave Portland. And we're headed out to Hawaii. That's the west coast of Oregon. And look where we are. We're in Hawaii. And look back into the mountains. We're staying in the Rainbow, what is it?
Hilton.
The Rainbow Hilton. Seems like we like Hiltons. There's the boat dock. The marina is what I was trying to say. Oh, what a beautiful sunset. Look at that. Oh my, what a picture. Sports Illustrated wanted that, but I wouldn't give it to them. Now, looking down right below our room, we're out on a balcony. Some guy down there swimming, I do believe. And that swimming pool down there had some kind of pattern in the bottom of it. I don't remember. Now you're looking over across there at the, let's see, which one of those is the Ilokai? That's where Steve McGarrett stands out on the balcony right at the beginning of the show. Now, looking the other way is Diamond Head, obviously. Anyone can recognize that famous geographic landmark. And somewhere in between where we are and Diamond Head is Waikiki Beach. And since we're staying at the Rainbow Hilton, what can I say? What better example of the rainbow? That rainbow, incidentally, went right down into that pool, and I suppose down at the bottom, see that rainbow? Right down at the bottom of that pool must be the pot of gold. Man, we just got there, and we're waiting. We are waiting to hit the beach.
Looks like a frog down there, doesn't it?
All right. And that's inside our room looking out. And looking down there, if you look, there's surfers down there just doing a little bit of, having a little bit of fun. Man, I mean, we're just there. We have not even had a chance to hit the beach yet. We just unpacked our bags.
This is very early in the morning.
Now, looking out our balcony, we can see the convention center. I think there's 22 or 23 acres of this Hawaiian Rainbow Hilton. And they've got all kinds of shops and things down in there, and gardens and flower gardens and that type of thing. Looking out into Honolulu there, way over there, some mountains that I think are over near Pearl Harbor. Now, we couldn't hardly get a picture for these goldfish because all the Japanese tourists were getting in front of us and taking pictures themselves. Of course, after I drowned a couple of them, we were able to get these fine shots here. I don't know why they call those goldfish. See the mosaic tile on the side of the Hilton there? We thought that was pretty amazing. And down in the gardens and the catfish pools right in front of you. And back into the shops and things. There were actually 3 or 4 other areas of rooms, but we happen to be in the Rainbow Tower there. Now I think are we down on beach level? I believe we were down on beach level there looking at Diamond Head. Now I think we're getting on the catamaran, Kamehameha 2. Yes, that's what we're getting ready to do. We're setting out there, ready to depart for Pearl Harbor. We're going to take a cruise down to Pearl Harbor. What a shot. What a cutaway shot. There goes those guys that you see on Hawaii 5-0 right there. I think they're practicing for the Olympics. An inexperienced sailor about to be towed out to sea by an unfriendly wind. That's a big catamaran. That's very similar to... oh, look at that guy. Wow! Well, we're out to sea now. We're getting ready to head over towards Pearl Harbor. I don't know. I'm looking back there at the guys that are surfing. That's where the waves come in on Waikiki Beach back in there. And there's our hotel. You can see it, the rainbow on the side. Looking on down, right there in the middle is our hotel, right there. I don't know. What can I say? A neat place. Now, we're getting ready to go into Pearl Harbor. That's one of the little things that hold the sub nets that kept the Japanese subs out of Pearl Harbor back in the war. And we're going in. We're at half speed as we enter the channel. A lot of hangars and things like that. There's an what do you call those things? LTDs? LST? And they still do a lot of industrial work on those ships, a lot of repair work. And we're going into harbor. There's a little, I think it's a little airport right out in the middle of the harbor there. It's got a name and I don't remember it. Some of the sunken ships during Pearl Harbor there. I'm trying to think of the name of that one. I'm not sure if that's the Utah or not. One of them. There's the Utah. Right there. And of course it looks like one of the flagships. big boats in there for repair work. Coming around on the Arizona Memorial, I think there were 7 different boats that went down that were moored right there. Arizona went down, and it's the only, commissioned sunken ship in the American fleet. It's still commissioned. It's like Peabody Coal Company, doesn't it?
What are they using all those cranes for anyway?
Now we're back down at the Hawaiian Hilton, and see the big H out there in the grass? And looky there. What's out of focus, me or? Yeah, that's just the best it's going to get. Down in the flower gardens. Now, we're taking a bus tour of Honolulu. There's one of the restaurants that you can eat on, and it rotates. Going along, I think that's the big convention center or exhibition center. That's the courthouse for the state of Hawaii. That's where McGarrett holds some of his meetings. And that's an eternal flame. What was that, Mary Martha? And there's a little park, and I think that's Kamehameha Park. Well, there's the old royal palace, and there's Kamehameha. Right down there, see that statue right there? That's him. I think he's the last king of... you see that guy in the yellow shirt? He was in the Navy at the time that Pearl Harbor was bombed, and his ship just happened to be outside the harbor where he had got it. Now we're up in the Punch Bowl. We've driven way up in the mountains up above Honolulu, and we're looking out on basically a cemetery. It's a crater of a volcano, and it's kind of a cemetery. Looking down from the Punch Bowl over Honolulu, there's 5 big office buildings. I think it's those there. They call them the Big 5. There's 5 big businesses. There's the courthouse down there. 5, and the I think I'm shooting in on the little royal palace there too, right in the middle. The exhibition center that we just saw. It's getting old. Now, there goes Steve McGarrett.
That was silly.
There went that sailor again. Da 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 da. Remember Hawaii 5-0? And this is a lot of the war dead buried here. Now that's out of focus. You cannot see it, but it's the grave of Ernie Pyle, who was a journalist. I think he got shot in World War II. A banana tree.
Coconut tree?
I don't know about that one.
What do you think it was up there?
I can't think of the name of it. Now that's where Hawaii 5-0 films, right there, or at least they have their warehouse. Just an old tin warehouse. Now we're on, well, you know where we are. Diamond Head Road. We're right there. Diamond Head is to our backs. And we're looking out over the ocean. Kind of rough out there today. I'm getting ready to, obviously, pull a Mike Nelson here. But first, I think we want to show them how to do a Kentucky dive, a little Abner. Somewhere along the line, I'm going to do that. Almost a belly buster. Pearl drops there. That's the pool right down below our Rainbow Hilton room. Little Abner. Seemed like nobody noticed that.
There's a
Neil,
tour guide.
that's Neil, our guide. He's from Tennessee originally. Now we're
That's at Public
Hanauma
Beach.
Bay. Hanauma Bay is what that's called. It's just a little kind of a, looks
Public
like a
beach.
foot. Yeah, it's a public beach. Looks like a big foot going into the land there of water. And those are big old waves. That's about 3/4 of a mile. See? And there's the blowhole. That's a geyser. I guess it just once in a while spews forth. You know, it took me about a minute to. I thought those were buzzards until I got a little bit closer, and then I realized that they were hang gliders. Then we went to Sea Life Park, and there's, well, you know what that is. And look,
Look at all those fish.
a hammerhead. But we're behind about an inch of glass. A toible. Another hammerhead. I'm surprised those sharks didn't eat those fish, but they don't. As long as they have, their doggy biscuits. I don't know what's in there. A lot of turtles, I guess. And the porpoise. Anyway, they call him Flipper, Flipper, da 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 da. Yes, sir. And they'll splash you here in a minute. And of course, the seal goes and gets the rings. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm getting better light on the TV than I am on there. I've opened that iris.
Good idea. Should have done that last night.
And there goes the little penguin. Zip, zip, zip. One of them they call Bandit because he would go down and he would miss the ring. They throw a ring under it. Watch this one. And they went through, but this guy never goes through. And he comes up and gets a fish as a reward. And I hate to be sitting in the first 4 rows when this guy does this. And he's waving goodbye. And of course, a handshake. He's going to school, he's got his glasses on, and oops, off with the glasses. He was adding, I think, on the chalkboard. Now, we're going to see the killer whales here in a minute. Now, a lady peed right in front of us, right here. We were sitting right here in these little bleachers,
Don't tell all of
and
them.
some old lady came right up in front of us and peed right in front of us. She didn't, I don't know whether she knew it or not. They told a story about something here, about this
Fair maiden.
fair maiden.
Is in distress by the way.
And she lived among the whales and all that garbage. And all was happy. But something happens here to disturb the lifestyle. Doing a little dance there.
I
Anyway,
think there's a story about another man that comes out from
Oh, this sailor comes along and does something. I don't remember, but they get his boat and carry it off, remember?
That is a whale.
Yeah, those are the killer whales. They're probably about 20 feet long. Well, anyway, there's the bad guy in the story. And, of course, they give him heck. Oh, God. Whoa. But, now they rescue him. And I think that's the end of the show. Sea Life Park. But remember, the hammerhead always lurks in the darkness, waiting for an opportunity. This fish couldn't decide which way to go. Oh, no, I think I go this way. Oh, maybe the other way. And we're getting about ready to leave the Sea Life Park and head back home again. And there's a stingray. And we're leaving. This is our Florida trip. We took, I think, on our first vacation,
76.
and it was about 76 in the summer. So it's our first, we've been married about a year. And this is Tennessee, or the Tennessee-Alabama line. Of course, you can't hardly ever take a trip like that without getting fireworks. We used to stay at that Smith Hotel. I think that's about 20 miles the other side of Atlanta, south of Atlanta. And that's as far as we could make it in a day's travel, and we'd have to spend the night and go on down the next day. But of course, with 75 there, you get down there in, 14 hours or less. Of course, we've already gotten in Florida, and now we're in Jasper. Jasper is where we used to have our old warehouse, the Big Top Warehouse. And there it is. Still there, looking good as ever. And I think you can barely see the name of Bethel Reynolds and Marson Reynolds there on there. That's been several years since we actually owned it. Then on down the street, you go down the road, and there were several houses down there that we stayed at during the summers when we went down on the tobacco market. And right across the street from the warehouse was a place that at one time was called Louise's, and we used to eat there for breakfast and things. The old gas station's still there. And looking back down Highway 41. That's how we came into Jasper the old way. And we're looking back down the road at the house that's right next to the warehouse. And that was some doctor's house down there, down the street from the warehouse. He had a swimming pool in his backyard. There are the Norwoods. We didn't stop to visit them, but we stayed with them one summer in their house, which is about right across the street from the warehouse and down about 3 or 4 houses. We stayed there one summer. That's where I had my first taste of alligator meat, upstairs. We stayed in the upstairs apartment. And we also stayed in that other house, which you saw just a second ago with the screen porch. We stayed here one summer. Had air conditioning there. And Betty and Junior Renfro stayed back in that house. And Betty and Junior stayed in this house one year. We just stayed in different houses every year. Let's see whose house this is. I don't remember this one very well. Now this used to be a place called Mrs. Molly's, and it was back underneath there, right in there, and she'd cook a bunch of different dishes. This is the street of Jasper. Some of the drugstores, K.O.'s Drugstore, Mallory's, Mallory Tootin. Got a funny story about Mallory. There's the post office in Jasper. Mallory's is a grocery store. He used to give me bubble gum. Looking back down towards Main Street, there's the railroad tracks. And you're going to see Mallory's again. Yes, sir. Laundromat, all that different thing. Now, Wise's drugstore. Yeah, and there was another drugstore. Boy, you could get the best Cokes and those old soda fountain Cokes in those places. Across the street is the park, Hamilton County. That's where Jasper is. I was telling you about Miss Molly's restaurant. She put all these different things like chicken, rice, and gravy, and everything. And you just eat all you wanted. It was great. What we call acre peas, boy, they were great. That's the First Baptist Church, I think. It's one of the Baptist churches that we went to. Yeah, First Baptist Church in Jasper. And that's where the Sunday school classes were. And this is kind of looking back from, just back at the main street of Jasper, back up to that corner there. Spent a lot of time there. Mallory's. And, oh yeah, I've been to that 10-cent store a bunch of times. Priest. And, anyway, we went on down south of Jasper. We just stopped there because we spent so much time there. Way down upon the Swanee River. Man, that river is dark. It looks like coffee. It's so dark. And the white sand on the side there, it's so calm and peaceful. It's just something. And there's people going fishing. The Swanee River. Oh man. Look how black that water is. But onward, down to Daytona Beach. Aren't you going to follow me? Those are, man, I mean, those are wide beaches. Remember how hard packed that sand feels on your feet? That sand is hard packed. There's your lifeguard. We stayed at the Americano. I thought it was Americana. But anyway, we stayed up in, well, one of those rooms up there. I think we're zeroing in on it right there. Must be. And now we went over to St. Augustine one day, to the alligator farm. Wally the alligator. Sit!
They were the laziest alligators I
Yeah, they were not, they must have been well fed. Man, they were not hungry at all. Well, there's one that might take a bite.
They still want bread.
They want to, they can suck it in fast. But they're really slow. They must be on drugs. That's the big one there. He's a big fat one, boy. He must weigh about a ton. I bet he weighs 500 pounds. I think they've kind of grown lazy. Look at that fellow with that camera and audio. Now that's way back in '76. You didn't see much of that back then. Peacock. Just let my people go. And of course, the alligators feed on the deers there. No, I was just kidding.
Feeding it deer corn, I think.
Yeah, you can buy corn out of a, looks like a candy machine. It costs you about a nickel for a handful of corn. It's a racket. I mean, we went all the way to Florida to see that rooster. sheep. No, that's a goat, isn't it?
So,
These alligators are a little bit more active.
Baby alligators, I think.
And the ostrich, these ostriches can be pretty cantankerous at times. That is a Florida wildcat, I do believe. One of these is. And, well, I don't know. It might be a nude or goat. I got out of focus on that one. And these turtles live to be, I don't know how many 100 years old. But you can ride them.
Yeah.
And there's the baboon, or it's a monkey or a baboon. He could catch those. You could throw corn at him. Boy, look at that catch. He would make a good second baseman. There's a big monkey. I caught a crab out on a beach down a little bit north of Daytona. Now these beaches up north of Daytona are really kind of deserted, and you can just go out and do all kinds of neat things there. You don't have all the crowd to worry about. He walked sideways. Couldn't get him in focus. Well, anyway, now I think we're back to the Americana Hotel. And, you know, we're kind of looking out on the beach. I think it's fairly early morning. What the sun looks like on the Atlantic Ocean. And, you know, there's our swimming pool. Now, I had never dived off the high dive before. I have jumped off it many times, but I had never. But finally, I said, this is silly. This is silly. I can do it. Now, there's my jump. I was a warm-up jump. Okay. Maybe that was just nothing. Let me really. I'm going to show you a dive later. But first, I've got to go save somebody. Man overboard.
Who's behind that board?
The waves are coming in good there. There's our hotel, obviously, from the beach. We took a little walk down the beach there, looking for the pier. Where's the big Daytona Beach Pier? I believe that's it way down there. There's where all the amusement park and everything. Oh, there it is, the first dive by Dan Reynolds. Wasn't very graceful. I don't know if I tried it again or not. Yes, this time maybe it'll, okay, a little better. A little better that time. I give myself a 5.5 on that one. Well, the overhead lifts were inoperable that day. Out on the pier at Daytona Beach, and we're looking kind of back up into the Daytona area there. We're on that's the boardwalk right there. All the little stores and different things, you know, where you can go spend your money and blow it. The Midway, and the Ferris wheel, and the tower. And I don't know what that was. Now.
Walt Disney World.
Huh?
Florida. Orlando.
Are we in Walt Disney World now? Okay. Yes. We've gone to Disney World now. And that's where we are. I guess so. Anyway, you know, Walt Disney World, that's got a lot of things, indescribably, so many things, you just can't name them all. And some of the shows, skip to my loo, my dog. Okay. I don't know what these sideways views are. Now, that's where we stayed. It was about 4 miles from the... Now this is deep sea fishing, and we are on our way either out or in, but those porpoises are wild, and they're right under the bow of our boat. And we're heading back in or out from deep sea fishing. It's amazing. Now take a look where we are. Ocean! In the ocean.
They're getting out.
There they are. They race the boat. Boy, they have a good time. And let's see. Well, we must be on the bow of the boat. That's our deep sea fishing party. There's some seagulls around here somewhere. It's kind of hard to tell whether we're going in or going out.
Maybe go back in.
There's Mr. Pelican. And these seagulls would fly right up over your head and would take bread right almost out of your hand. You'd have to throw it up a couple of feet. Now the pelicans would take it right out of your hand. And that's the marina at Clearwater, Florida. That's where we used to go deep sea fishing at when I was a little boy with my dad. And it's just kind of a neat place to go back to. All the different boats and the pelicans on every pole. And there's my catch, and I won the jackpot that day, $12. Yes, Mary Martha, that's my catch there, that big one. Now, that wasn't very big, but that was the jackpot. There's my 12. There you are.
Look how blonde your hair was.
Yes, and there's Clearwater Marina. And all the people with all their catches, like this guy caught, looked like a skipjack or a tuna, and some mackerel, maybe even barracuda. And we stayed at the Spyglass Motel, and that is in Clearwater, and that's Clearwater Beach. A lot more calm out on the Gulf there today, at least. And there's the Clearwater Pier. I really